Many students are confused about speed and velocity. They ask, are they synonyms? Are they different? What differentiates them? Let's clarify these issues in this video, starting with speed. Speed is defined as the distance traveled by an object in a given time interval. Velocity is defined as the displacement of an object in a given time interval. Now, the main difference between speed and velocity is distance and displacement. What is distance and what is displacement? Distance measures the length between two objects or points without any regard for direction. Distance is a scalar quantity.
What is a scalar quantity?
Scalar quantities are quantities that have only magnitude but no direction. This means that distance cares about how far and not about which direction. The SI unit of distance is meters per second, whereas displacement measures the length between objects or points with respect for direction. Displacement is a vector quantity. Vector quantities are quantities that have both magnitude and direction. This means displacement cares about how far, also about to which direction. The SI unit of displacement is meters per second. From much talking, we can deduce the similarities between speed and velocity to be both speed and velocity tell about how far objects are from each other. That's a good similarity. Another similarity is both speed and velocity have the same SI unit, meters per second. Also, from much talking, we can deduce the differences between speed and velocity to be speed is the distance a moving object covers per unit time, while velocity is the displacement of an object per unit time. Speed is a scalar quantity, velocity is a vector quantity. Speed can only be zero or positive, while velocity can be positive, negative, and zero. Now let me explain why. What this means is that when an object is at rest, its speed is zero. And when an object moves from rest, its speed is positive. So let's say an object moves from rest 10 meters. If it comes back to rest, it gains another 10 meters. Thus, the speed is altogether 20 meters. So speed cannot be negative, but it can be zero at rest and also positive. Now, whether it moves straight or moves left or moves right or moves wherever it moves to, as far as there are points there that are being connected and can be measured, you take all these together to get the speed of the motion. Now for velocity, when an object starts from rest and moves, let's say 10 meters, when it comes back to its place of rest again, the velocity is now zero. So velocity cares about the direction. If the object goes 10 meters right and comes back 10 meters left, the velocity is zero. And if it goes 10 meters right and comes back 20 meters left, its velocity becomes negative 10. So speed can only have zero and positive values, while velocity can have zero, positive, and negative values. Are we clear? The formula for speed is distance all over time, and the formula for velocity is displacement all over time. Now, it is quite hard to talk about speed and velocity and leave acceleration behind. So what is acceleration? Well, acceleration deals mainly with velocity and not with speed. Acceleration is the rate of increase in velocity per unit time. This formula is change in velocity all over the time taken or change. This change in velocity simply means final velocity minus initial velocity all over the time taken. Now it is represented as small letter v minus small letter u all over t. Now we know there are formulas. Let's Now we know their formulas. Do you know that the plural of formula is also formulae? So I will be like, now we know their formulae. Let's turn to a book and solve some problems. Let's go. Alright guys, I forgot to include something in the video, and that is the SI unit of acceleration, which we should know. The SI unit of acceleration is meters per second square. It can be written like that, or it can be written like this, meters per second square. So the same thing. Alright, so this is the SI unit for acceleration. Now we have some problems we're about to solve. The first problem is on screen. What is the average velocity of a car that moved 40 kilometers east and 80 kilometers west in 2 hours? So what we are looking for here is the average velocity, the velocity. So we gave the formula for velocity in the video to be velocity is equal to displacement all over time. So displacement all over time. Alright, so what is the displacement here? Displacement is 80 kilometers minus 40 kilometers together. So displacement will be 80 kilometers minus 40 kilometers all over. The time is what? 2 hours. 2 hours. Alright, so displacement here can also be changing displacement. What distance did it cover? Alright, so we're using displacement. What distance did it cover? So we would get that distance from saying 80 kilometers minus 40 kilometers. Then we divide it by 2. It's a very simple math. So our answer will be these 2 hours. Our answer will be 80 kilometers minus 40 kilometers is 40 kilometers all over 2 hours. So 40 divided by 2 finally will give us our answer of 20 kilometers per hour. Right, so what option is that? That's option D. So option D is correct for this solving. Option D is correct. Now let's go to the next guy. Alright, so guys, the last question says, how long does it take to accelerate an object from rest to 15 meters per second if the acceleration was 3 meters per second squared? There was something I was trying to explain in the video where I said an object that comes from rest has an initial velocity of 0, okay, because it's just starting from rest, so the initial velocity is 0. When it goes back to rest, its final velocity is 0. So in the question, let's take parameters. How long does it take to accelerate an object from rest to 15 meters per second? So final velocity is 15 meters per second. And since we have already seen from rest, we should already know that our initial velocity is just 0 meters per second. So if the acceleration was 3 meters per second squared. Alright, this is all we're given. We're told to find, okay, how long? We're told to find the time. How long? Right, so the formula for acceleration, which I just gave you, is v minus u all over t. So we put values. A is represented by 3, v represented by 15, minus u is 0 all over times what we're looking for. So we have 15 minus 0 is still 15, and then we cross multiply it. T times 3 is 3t, is equal to 1 times 15 is 15. We divide both sides by the coefficient of t, which is 3, so it gives us our final answer to be what? 5. So we have 5 seconds, and 5 seconds is which option? Is letter C. Alright guys, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching up to this moment. It's lovely to have you here.
Okay guys, so you see this problem on screen, please screenshot it and try to solve it. Go down to the description of this video, you will see our WhatsApp group. Join the group and submit the questions, and we'll validate if it's correct or wrong, and I will send you a short video on how I solved this problem. As of for now, please subscribe, and I will see you the next video.